Welcome back to the Simply Fitness Podcast. My name's John Stein. On this episode of the podcast, I dive into a topic that I really enjoyed talking about today. It's about creating your own happiness. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day and welcome back to the Simply Fitness Podcast. Super excited about this episode today. Kind of came up with this episode kind of on the fly here today. Just saw a story about it and I really want to talk about it. And I really haven't touched too much about mindset here on the podcast, a little bit, on topics and through interviews, but I really want to touch on this a little bit. It's a little bit away from nutrition and fitness per se, but it's 100% relatable, because a lot of us have, fitness goals and, whether it be weight loss, muscle gain, we want to achieve this body. And if we don't have the right mindset when it comes to that, it can become very unhealthy. I've seen it, with a lot of people. They try to achieve their goals and they think it's going to, make them happy and bring that happiness to them. But then they achieve it and they're still the same person and they're still very unhappy with everything that's happening with them and they're not happy with themselves. And it's not good. And I don't want you to be like that, And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today. As you saw by the title of this podcast, it's about creating your own happiness. And personally, I think this is probably the first step or one of the first things that people should think about when they're trying to achieve a fitness goal, weight loss, muscle gain, trying to change their body. It's something that they need to work on while in doing their fitness goals. So we can change that nutrition, we can change our workout style, but if we don't change our mind, we're going to be the same exact person in a different body. We're going to still be that person who's 50 pounds overweight and insecure with our body, even if we lost that 50 pounds, or if we gain all this muscle and we can walk on the bodybuilding stage. If we're still not happy with ourselves and happy, like we're still going to be unhappy. You might have a different body, but that doesn't make you happy. And so that's kind of what got me started. Somebody said that and I was like, boom, like that is amazing. I forget who said it. I saw it on an Instagram story today and I just wanted to talk this out and I really thought through it and thought I'd share it with you guys. So it all started with this phrase: happiness does not come from anyone or anything. So nothing's going to bring that happiness to you. You're not just going to achieve it one day. No matter, you can make $1 million today. It doesn't automatically equal happiness. Being able to do certain things, have that certain body, being with someone, having, a significant other doesn't necessarily bring you happiness. It can, but you have to be the one to own your happiness. You have to be the one who creates it yourself. And you have to be open to accepting that happiness. So how do we own our happiness? How do we create it for ourselves? So how that's done, at least in my thought, is really twofold. So one is to do the things that bring you happiness, as well as being around the people that bring it out of you. So I know that might sound a little bit counterproductive to how I said it doesn't come from anyone or anything. That's true, because you still have to be the one knowing what brings you happiness and who are the type of people that bring it out of you. So you can have lots of friends, you can have lots of family, you can have wealth. It doesn't equal happiness. As you've probably seen it in the news through, so other social media, you think that some of these people are so happy. We have this highlight reel of Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform, and we think so many of these people are happy. But honestly, I don't know how many people are happy. I interact with so many people every day, and I really have to say very few people are actually happy. Genuinely 100%, not faking it, happy with who they are, where they're at, and the things that they do. That doesn't mean they don't want to achieve more, but they're happy about it. I, for one, think that I am genuinely happy. I'm a genuinely happy person. I love the things that I do. I do the things that I love. I'm surrounded by the people that I love and would do anything for. And that brings me pure happiness. I get asked all the time, how do I have so much energy? How do I stay so optimistic? How do I say that? And how it has to do with happiness. I am so happy. I'm overjoyed with the things that I do each and every day. I only do really the things that I love. Obviously, there's some things that I don't love to do, but if I don't do them, I can't do the things I love. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But so how do you create your own happiness? How do you own that happiness? At first, it all starts with looking inside yourself. So it's a very introspective thing to do. And it's really hard for people. And that's why I think a lot of people do think they're happy, but they're really not. And because it is scary, and because it might induce change, and it is scary, and you're vulnerable, and it will really you really have to take a hard look at it, because there might be some things, that job you've been working at for 10 years, the people that you've been friends with for the last 10 years, you have some family members, things like that you might have to change the way you contact with people and the way that you live your life in order to bring yourself happiness. And that scares a lot of people, and they're not willing to change, or maybe you're just not ready to change yet. But if you want to have that happiness, you have to really look inside of you and really start thinking about what truly makes you happy. Not the BS that people spout about all the time about, oh, this brings me so happy. This is so much enjoyment. I'm talking about the really deep stuff, like what truly nitty gritty 5 things that make you happy. Or what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that you do each and every day, or not be every day, but the things you do in your life that truly make you happy? This is going to take a lot of time. This isn't something that happens in one night, 15-minute meditation, and you have a list. No, I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about, okay, let's really think about it over the next month, 2 months. Really look within yourself. Okay, I have a list. Maybe that first time you make that list, you have 20 things. Okay, let's really look at it. Where does this boil down? Let's dive deeper. Okay, why does that make me happy? Why does that make me happy? Why does that make me happy? Does that really make me happy? Does hanging out with this friend group make me happy? Do my coworkers make me happy? Do this part of the family, does that? You really have to ask you these questions, and they're hard questions to answer. And the truth might surprise you, because you might have been lying to yourself for a while. That's okay. We all lie to ourselves, but you have to really introspect and look at it truly to figure out what really makes you happy. So yeah, that's going to take a long time. It's not easy. I really want to be honest with that. And it's not easy. It sounds easy. Usually the things that sound easy are the hardest. And really looking deep within yourself and asking you these questions can be difficult. It sounds simple. If you go up to anybody and ask them what makes them happy, some people are going to spout things out, but then you think about it, you're like, okay, what really does make me happy? What's going to keep me going each and every day? Like what really does make you happy? And the thing to remember, so now let's dive in a little bit deeper now with happiness. So happiness is going to look different for each and every one of us. All of us have different passions, different loves. We react differently to certain situations. We react differently to different types of relationships. We're all different. For a million different ways. There is not another person like us. There is not another person who reacts to things different, the same as us. There's not one person who feels the same way about certain things. There's no 100% match to each and every person. So how we bring happiness is going to be completely different. And I think a lot of us that acceptance is hard to look at, because your spouse's happiness, your significant others, your friends, your family, their happiness is going to probably look a little different than yours. And it might be hard to understand that and to really like accept that, oh, that's what makes them happy. Why would that be? And honestly, in my point of view, like, as long as my friends, my family, my significant other are happy, what right do I have to ask, question what makes them happy? Unless obviously it's something way out there that's super dangerous for their health and their safety. But then we really question, is that really what makes you happy? Or is there something maybe underlying there that's not, like we just talked about, what I just touched on a little bit before. So I'm going to give you an example. Like I said, I think of myself as a really happy person, like genuinely 100%. I'm happy because I've really been able to introspect and really kind of narrow down what makes me happy. And that's what I focus on. So I'm going to give you 4 different things that make me happy. There are 4. When I really thought about it today, I was like, okay, what really makes me happy? What gets me going each and every day? What, puts that smile on my face? What like really like drives me, gets me going, and gets me excited each and every day? Because as you guys see through this podcast, through my YouTube, like, I'm jived up. I'm ready to go. I'm, from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep, I'm here ready to go. Like, let's get after it. So 4 things. First one's probably going to be a little obvious. Helping people. Helping people makes me so happy. Nothing gets me more excited than a client coming back to me, telling me a story about how much better they feel, how they love the workout today, that they're feeling stronger, that they're, went to a wedding and everyone was complimenting them on how they looked and they've never had that feeling before. They've always been self-conscious and now they're confident in the way their body feels. That's amazing. I love that. Even simple things like holding the door for people, helping people out, helping my friends, my family, do things that really makes me happy. And, even if I have to sacrifice a little bit of my time that I don't have a lot of to, go out of my way to help them, that really creates me happiness, knowing that I was able to take a little bit of the burden off of them to maybe let them do things that make them happy and to make them feel less stressed and just overall happier. So I love helping people. That's number 1, what brings me joy and happiness. Second one is spending time with my loved ones. So at this point in my life, married, love to spend time with my wife. That should be obvious. If you don't love your significant other, you probably should get out of that relationship. Not a good one. But spending time with her, spending time with, my close friends, even some of them that I don't get to see all the time, I really enjoy and covet that time I get to spend with them, even if it is for a couple hours, a couple months, every couple of months. My family, I love to spend time with them, even my extended family, even if it's just once or twice a year that I get to spend a couple of days with them. I really cherish that time and that ability to, talk with them, spend time with them, create memories with them. And that's brings me joy. Like all those times, even, even when they might annoy you a little bit, even though they might frustrate you a little bit, I do very much cherish that time I get to spend with them. Third thing is challenging myself, both mentally and physically. So whether it be in the gym, using obstacle course races, rock climbing, physically doing that, as well as mentally learning things. I love to learn. I'm a forever student. I will always be learning. I will always be reading books. I will always be, looking at new articles, peer reviewed, from other coaches, through other forms of content, podcasting, things like that. Like that really gets me going. I have a lot of, different passions. So being able to challenge myself to learn something new, to try a different challenge, whether that be like trying to run a little bit faster, or trying to, hit a problem that's maybe a little bit harder than what I've done before, and things like that, competitions, that really does bring me happiness. Like I do these races, not, to beat other people, or competitions to beat other people. Like, sure, that's great. And of course, like you want to win, but that doesn't really get me going. What really gets me going is beating myself. So like 2 weeks ago, how did I do? Did I do a little bit better this time? Did I, try a little bit harder? Did I bump that speed up on the treadmill a little bit more? Did I, increase that weight a little bit? Did I, this time I did, 2 V4s, bouldering. Last week I did 1, or last week I couldn't even do any 4s, and now I am. Or this problem I've been working on for a week, I finally got it and solved it. Great. Like that's awesome. Like that really gets me going and brings me joy to continue learning those things. And last thing is doing the things that I enjoy. So there are plenty of things that I love to do: rock climbing, obstacle course racing. I love to cook. I love to read. I love watching sports. Like those are things that I love to do, and I make time to do them, and I make them a priority, and I make the things that I do enjoy doing a priority of my life. So I make sure all the other things in my life are in order so I can do those things. Because if they're not in order, how am I able to do those things? And I'll be less happy because of it, because I can't do those things. A couple of weeks ago was the first time I was able to rock climb in months. I was super pumped. Did I climb well? No, I haven't climbed for months. It was awful, but I loved it. I was so happy to just be on the wall doing problems again. Like that's the whole point behind this whole thing. Like I didn't get caught up in the BS of me worrying about how well I was doing versus like just like the pure happiness that just it brought me to just be there doing the thing that I love to do and being able to do it because I haven't been able to do it in 6 months. And so I was creating my own happiness. I was worrying about those things that really brought me joy instead of those things that, at the end of the day don't mean nothing. They mean nothing, Eventually I'll be climbing more. I'll get back to where I was. That's okay. So that's what brings me happiness each and every day. That's why you'll see me almost always smiling. I almost never have no smile on my face. You'll almost never see me in a bad mood, for very long. Maybe if I have a caffeine headache, maybe a little bit, but always have the energy, always excited. Just put on some music. Let's go. Let's get after it. So one last thing that I want to really touch on with happiness and what kind of was running through my brain when I was thinking about it was I sometimes see, like, when I have conversations with people, like, why you're so happy, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, is they misconstrue happiness with being stress-free. And they do not equal each other. Let's repeat that. Happiness does not mean stress-free. There will always be stress in your life. If you are trying to live a stress-free life, like, you're never going, like, that's like perfectionism. Like, there's no such thing as a stress-free life. There will always be stress in your life. There will always be. Life is ever changing. There's going to be some type of stress that's going to be put on you. But what it boils down to is how this relates to happiness is what stress in your life can you live with? What are you able to live with each and every day that bring you stress? My job has stresses. I love it. I deal with those stresses each and every day because I love my job. Being in a relationship with a human has stresses. Whether friends, significant others, family members, there's always going to be disagreements. No one agrees with everything 100%. Things are going to happen, whether it be financial, physically, like accidents happen, like just like things randomly out of the blue that we can never predict. COVID-19 happens, pandemic hits the world. We can't plan those things. There's always going to be stress. So it's what stress are you willing to live with? If you're willing to work a job that maybe you don't like so much because it brings you financial freedom to allow you to do these other things that do bring you happiness, and you're willing to do that and bite that bullet, awesome. But if you're not, time to find a new job. Time to, maybe cut back on some of those other things to then find, create that happiness for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's you own your happiness. You create your own happiness. If you are unhappy, it comes down to you. Like, you need to own that. You need to figure out what makes you happy and how to get there. Is it the situation? What needs to change? Because at the end of the day, you own yourself. You only have control of one thing. You only have control of you and how you react to things, how you do things. So stop worrying about, how someone else can bring you happiness, how something else can bring you happiness, and instead bring that happiness to yourself. Figure out what makes you happy and do that. Create your life around it. And there you go. You will always be happy. From there, this might change. I might look back at this podcast in 5 years, look at those 4 things that I said and laugh and be like, that's not true at all anymore. That doesn't make me happy anymore. And that's okay. Like, different stages of your life, you're going to feel different ways about your happiness. And that's okay. Like, things are going to change, and they probably will change, and they probably should change. Like the difference between 20 and 25 and 25 and 30 and 30 and 50, those are completely different stages of your life, and different things are going to make you happy. And I probably asked 18-year-old John Stein 10 years ago what made him happy, and it would be a completely different list of things. And that's why this is a process and a journey, and not something that you just do in 2 months. Just like weight loss, you don't just lose the weight and you're like, oh, hippy doo doo, I don't have to do this nutrition shit no more. Let's throw that out the window. I lost my weight. No, it doesn't work that way. Same thing with happiness. You always got to be introspective. You always got to look at it, and be like, okay, what makes me happy? Okay, this does. Great. Let's keep doing that, or let's figure out a way to incorporate that more into our lives. So this is an enduring process that's going to happen continuously. The sooner you start really kind of looking at yourself, looking inward, and figuring out what makes you happy, is the sooner you can become happy. If you're not already happy, I really do hope you're happy. But if you're not, let's change that right now. Like, let's go. Like I've stated multiple times, this starts today and ends the day you die. Like, that's just fact. Like, you're going to be contemplating this, not all the time, but like, this is something to continuously think about. When life changes, you're going to have to reevaluate things and be like, okay, like, this situation changed. I got a new job. I got a promotion. I got, in a new relationship, new boyfriend, girlfriend, new wife, husband, whatever it may be. And things are going to change. Priorities are going to change. Okay, how does this work with my, what makes me happy? Does this make me happy? And also to think about things, what will this make me happy? And you have to really look at that and think, okay, well, if I change, will that make me happy? No, like you have to become happy and really look at yourself and create that happiness for you. Okay, if you feel better, yes, that's going to give you more energy. That's going to make you feel, you're going to feel better. Yes, like that could 100% make you happier. I'm exercising more. That makes me happy. Stick with it. So, big takeaway from this podcast. Let's create our own happiness. Don't give anybody else control over your happiness, because it's 150% up to you. No amount of money, no job, no relationship, no material product is going to make you happy. I know they keep selling you on that shit, and it's not true. None of it's going to make you happy. Nothing makes you happy. You create that happiness and it comes to you and you embrace it, but you need to be open and willing to accept that happiness into your life. But if you're not aware of it, it's not going to make you happy. It's going to be a fleeting feeling, and it's going to leave you feeling empty. So let's create our own happiness. Let's, starting today, look in, ask yourself those tough questions. Look deep, ask yourself, why does this make me happy? Why? And why? Just keep asking yourself why. You're going to keep having to figure out an answer, and you're going to really have to think about it. And it's going to be tougher. The more whys you ask, the harder it gets. Harder it is to find an answer. Harder it is to really think about it and be like, because that gets you deeper and deeper and more likely to the actual answer to the question. Okay. Because money doesn't make us happy. Why does money make us happy? Why? Why does it make you happy? Does it give you access to something? Is it the perceived, wealth you have, or the image you think you have? Okay. Why does making yourself look rich make you happy? Like those are, that's not an easy question to answer. And it might bring up some things that might make you uncomfortable. You ask this about anything. So again, let's create our own happiness starting today. Thanks guys for listening. Please leave a 5-star review if you like this episode, Apple Podcasts. Let me know what you think. I know this episode was a little bit different, so I would really love your input here. Let me know what you thought. Slide into those DMs. Send me an email. All in the show notes. Would love to answer any and all questions you have, any feedback you guys have. Really appreciate it all. Really appreciate you guys listening. As I said, it makes me so happy and so fulfilled to help you guys with your health, with your fitness, with your mindset. So let's keep getting after it. Let's keep crushing it. And can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Simply Fitness Podcast. Because you listened to this episode, I want to give you something away for free. In the show notes, I have a link to my free fat loss cookbook. This cookbook contains over 20 recipes that are specifically designed to help you lose weight. They are filled with protein, they are simple to make, and they take away that bland, boring diet food. So if you want to upgrade your diet today, go to the show notes, click on the link, and go get your free fat loss cookbook. And make sure you come back for more episodes of the Simply Fitness Podcast.